Anything stand out? I like the unexpected timing. Unexpected timing, ordinary place.
Yes.
Presence.
It's a consistent theme. I'm with you, right?
Yeah.
And that's what part of why we're telling these stories is try to pick up on themes. Stars at night. This is interesting. The time of day is different. Yeah. The night you lay your head down on a rock isn't the night you think something that's going to be a story told forever is going to happen. Not a good one. But yeah, one night I had that blah, blah, blah. You know.
Yeah. Hey friends, welcome back to At the Table, here with our friend Jay again, and glad to be here with him, and glad to be here with you wherever you're tuning in, whether you're a part of Front Street, another church, or still trying to find a community that you can belong to. We hope that this video meets you at the right time, in the right place, and that you know that. Today we are jumping into another week of our Made for This series. Last week we talked about Gideon and his call story, and we hope that this series throughout Made for This is getting us to think about our own unique gifts that God has given us and how we can use them for God's mission of loving God and loving neighbor, whether it be, like you talked about last week, of being a woodworker, president of a civil engineering company, or whatever job you have. How can that also intersect with your calling?
Intersect, right?
Yeah.
If you're not seeing it that way, okay, it could not be happening there, or you could be missing that it is happening there.
And this week we're in a two-part.
Chronologically, we're jumping back in the timeline.
Yes.
Right? Back to Jacob. This is pre-Moses.
Yeah.
Right? This is way back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Pre-Moses, and Gideon's post-Moses.
Right.
Jacob knows even less about who this God is. It's
right.
Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Yep. Abraham's the one who left because God was like, hey, I want you to go to a place I haven't told you where it is yet.
Yep.
And he goes, so this is like, that was his granddad.
Yeah.
Who was the first one historically we really point to, even though there was plenty of others.
Right. And our passage today is Genesis 28, verse 10 through 16.
Okay, so Genesis.
Okay,
all right.
Yeah. So we are early. And so the imagery we had last week was Gideon under the oak tree.
That's right.
This week, the imagery we have is Jacob laying his head down to rest on a stone.
There's so many of these in Duke Gardens here. I can imagine a stone there, there's one over there that are like the size and height I could imagine.
Yeah.
But I just want to interrupt for a second.
Yeah.
If he lays his head on it to sleep.
Yeah.
Like what's happening in your life that laying your head on a stone is preferable to not? Like I have been there, when I've not had a pillow and I'm like, this is really awkward.
Yeah.
So was he thankful for the stone? Was he frustrated to be in that circumstance?
Right.
But he's not settled in his life yet at this point, right?
He's on the way. He's in the mid, where we catch him in the story is he has left, I think it's Beersheba, and he is on his way to Haran.
Okay.
And he settles down at a certain place. I mean, it's very nondescript.
So this is after he's left his father's house?
Believe so.
Okay.
If our timeline's right. And if our timeline's wrong, forgive us.
We're just we're just poking around. Yeah.
But so he's on his way.
He's on his own, but he has not established himself.
Right.
Right?
And quite physically, he's on a journey. He's on a trip, and he had to stop in the middle of the night to find some sleep. And he found a stone to lay his head on. And that's where God meets him.
Yeah, right.
Is in a dream.
Yeah.
Have you ever had God meet you in a dream? I know that's that's a kind of big, crazy question sometimes.
I somewhat like that. I knew that God was going to kind of redirect my path in ministry. And so I do not recommend this, but it happened. But I was like, I am not going that way unless you wake me up in the middle of the night at 4:44 a.m. It was that severe of an issue for me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it unless you do that. And he woke me up, teasing me, woke me up at 4:43 in the morning out of a dream where I was a student here at Duke University.
Yeah.
And I knew one of the basketball players, and I used to share about Jesus with him. Is now the coach at Northwestern, Chris Collins.
Wow.
God woke me up out of a dream where I was sharing about Jesus with Chris Collins. And I had met his dad, who was an Olympic basketball player named Doug Collins, who was in the most famous, notorious, terrible basketball moment in history, shooting free throws against the Russians in the 72 Olympics. So Doug was a Christian, and his son Chris was here at Duke, and God woke me up out of a dream sharing Christ with Chris. And it wasn't spectacular. It was like, oh, I guess you're really doing this.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was more like, it wasn't like, wow. It was more like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, seriously, if I was describing it, okay.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Like, that checks every box
Yeah.
of like how you might do this.
Yeah.
There was not lightning, there were not halos, there were not angels, there was none of that. Very ordinary, but it was in a moment in time where I needed that.
Yeah.
And God was like, all right, so here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the connecting points of your story to this series, to Gideon and Jacob, is that one thing we're finding about God's callings on our lives is that they happen in ordinary places, under an oak tree, head down on a stone, head down on a pillow in a Duke dorm.
Yeah, right. That was actually as a grown-up at like 38 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I knew it was going to change my family's life.
Wow.
So I was feeling this bigger burden.
Wow.
And so it was like a call. God was using an old thing, bringing something significant from my past into this moment. Really kind of like kind of a convergence of things. Are like, I think that's what God does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that was definitely one of those that I was like, okay, I don't have enough information, but I got enough.
Yeah.
And apparently it's your idea, and apparently you're going to go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It gave me just enough confidence to go that way. And so all kinds of things have unfolded out of that. All kinds of things have unfolded out of that. Right.
Yeah.
But on the front end, I was like, whoo.
Right.
But really fascinating things unfolded. And I was thinking with this one. So the story is he lays down his head and this is when that famous scene of like, hey, I'm going to make your descendants as many as the stars in the sky.
They're going to go in
he's alone.
every direction.
And he's alone.
Yeah.
Right? What does that feel like? I bet it feels on some level like I see you. You are not insignificant in this world. Probably as much as anything. You are not insignificant. You are significant to me. And through you, we're going to do things that impact this world. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Right? And who knew that was going to be a moment that was going to be talked about? Yeah. The story was going to be told. One night with Jacob's going to be a story that we're telling today. Yeah. How many thousands of years later? Yeah. Right? Where these stones are.
One of the things that's jumping into my brain is how these moments in ordinary places, in unexpected times, which is the other thing, unexpected times.
Yeah, this is not
Gideon, for Jacob, for you, for me, for probably you watching.
It wasn't the nudge that caused Jacob to leave.
Right.
He was on his way somewhere, and then it
caught him along the way. Going to your story, if you were 38, all the things that have come out of that.
I'm telling you,
it is a game of not a game.
I don't really want a night of terror like that again. Yeah. But I would absolutely. Yeah. I'm grateful for it. Yeah.
Because out of those moments of calling is this. God does this multiplying, this exponential growth, and we see it in your story. I mean, I can see it on your demeanor right now. It might not be caught on camera. Jay is having a good holy moment of remembering the significance of this.
Right.
And
for sure.
For Jacob too, God meets him and tells him, your descendants are going to be as many as the stars, and they're going to spread in every direction. North, south, east, west, up, down, left, right. I mean, there is a multiplication and exponential growth that comes when God gets a hold of us.
Right. And it doesn't always get big, but it does get a multiplication in abundance.
Yes.
Right? It doesn't initially get big in terms of some sort of number.
Right.
But in terms of effect on the individual and the people who know them, that's significant, which is at the core of this.
Right.
Like the life I dreamed of having with the family can be traced back to that night.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that was happening before that, but that night is pivotal.
Absolutely.
In that sort of thing happening. So it's a little bit like the Lord was looking at me, what do you want me to do, Jay?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
So he creates a moment like, let's go this way. And then the things that I'm hoping will happen through work.
Right.
And through all kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't call it easy, but I would call it fantastic
and
awesome. The other thing I was thinking of was these stones and sleeping. Like mine happen at night, Jacob's happens at night, and but another one I heard of somebody sleeping in a place where it wasn't clicking and it wasn't all coming together.
Yeah.
Was a gentleman who wrote Peaceful, Easy Feeling that the Eagles went on to sing.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of their most popular, famous songs. ever. And it's on the album that's the greatest selling album of all time.
Yeah.
And they did not write Peaceful, Easy Feeling. It was written by a guy who was in San Diego who his career was not taking off. He was just on the way, but he didn't know if he was ever going to get there.
Yeah.
Well, so one night he doesn't have money to spend the night in a hotel, so he sleeps on the stage where he played a show that night. And out of that night, his wrestling with his life in that night, out of that night comes the song Peaceful, Easy Feeling. And an interesting Christian connection is years later, Christians would find out that song you can sing Amazing Grace to the same tune that Peaceful, Easy Feeling is sung to. And so it's an interesting thing what happens, just as an example of unexpected timing, ordinary place, on the way where it's not clicking and you're not really there yet.
Yeah.
Look, that can happen at a variety of moments. This isn't like just like a 22-year-old's game or whatever. Like this isn't just a young man's game. This could be at a variety of stages and phases of life.
Yeah.
You could be somebody that's retired or about to retire and you just like don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do with this. Or you can see that on the right. Like
Yeah.
you can be in these transition points. You could be empty nesters. You could be a kid going off to college. There's a variety of places where you could just be on the way from here to there and then boom. Small, very real, significant thing happens.
I mean, I think that is even true of those kind of turning or transition points is even true for my story that I shared a little bit of last week.
Yes.
And it feels almost silly saying it. I was going from middle school into high school. I was moving schools for the first time in my life.
Ooh,
was leaving the community, the school, the rhythms, the timing that I knew, and was going to go to a new school that was still getting sorted out.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the summer, in an ordinary moment, in an ordinary place, an unexpected time, God called me.
Right.
And I'm sure that the same thing is happening for people now too. Like you're saying, in these transition times, we've got folks at Front Street and all these other folks that are watching that have recent high school graduates going into college. Myself, I'll be getting married in 2 months.
Right.
Your daughter's getting married in 2 months.
Right.
Your sons are figuring out what's next at state. You've got a little one that's figuring out what's next in the next school year.
And it can happen while you're trying to figure out how to figure it out. I want, one of my dreams for this conversation in this series is that perhaps we might reimagine some moments, reinterpret some moments that have already happened.
That's
that
good.
might be inspiring.
That's good.
You know, if we, oh wow, what if this awakens in us an ability, the eyes to see moments that have happened, and that's what that was.
Yeah.
And then the way we tell that story to our children and to grandchildren, that the way we tell that story becomes different.
Yeah.
Because we understand that was actually God interacting and calling.
Yeah.
Within and through me in ways that we didn't understand them as theological or spiritual at that point in time, but perhaps we might be able to reinterpret.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a neat outcome of this.
That's great. I love that.
Maybe.
And we might be able to have the eyes to see that on callings, but also just on good God moments in our life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
I like that. Well, friends, thank you for joining us again this week at the table. We hope that as we continue to reflect on our 3 things we're good at and 3 things that we like to do, that God might meet us with the clarity of what God is calling us to. And that clarity might come afterwards. It might come in the moment. But we do know that God is calling each and every one of us with our unique gifts to serve in God's mission of loving God and our neighbors. And so, friends, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Amazing grace, how sweet is the sound that saved a wretch just like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I once was blind, but now I see. I got a piece